And they said you're fine. They're like aspen in a bad way. And they just drop seeds and grow, don't they? That's pretty much.
Yeah.
You're probably correct.
How's it going, Mr. Vice? How's it going? Well, thanks. How are you? Oh, good. Said they vote the end of the vice chair one meeting, and the next meeting is chair.
There you go.
Ah,
For just now, or did he resign? Oh, no.
It's just today.
It's just today where I'm.
Oh, it's not so bad. Everybody gets, everybody gets to scrape it about you. Yeah, it's not so bad.
Kind of fun, right?
Didn't say that.
oh dear.
29.
Looks like
There's Lee. Got a full house. Cool.
Yeah, he just got in under the wire.
Big phone.
we will not be.
Did you get to the game last night?
I said ask is not
All right, I've got 5:30. I'm gonna start.
It's a little more
It's the
competition.
last
yeah.
agenda item.
That okay? It's 5:30.
Oh, did
Yep,
you?
go for it.
All right, I hereby call this meeting of the City of North Platte Planning Commission to order. Roll call.
Davies.
Here.
McCune.
Here.
Matthews. Here. Bain.
Here.
Van Belson.
Yep.
Fudge. Jet.
Here.
Forbes.
Here.
Whirl.
Here.
We do have a quorum present.
All right, a current copy of the Open Meetings Act of Nebraska is posted at the back of the council chambers. Item number 2, approve minutes of the meeting held on January 23rd, 2024.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve those minutes.
Second.
All right, motion in a second. Click or vote. And it passes. Item number 3 on the agenda is a public hearing. I will read the rules for a public hearing to everyone to note. Planning Commission values your input and wants to hear from the audience. During public hearings, anyone wishing to speak must first be recognized by the chair. Once you are recognized, please approach the podium, state your name and address, and please keep your comments to less than 3 minutes. Repetitive and excessively long testimony may be ended at the discretion of the chair. Public hearing item number 3, file number CU24-001, is to discuss and consider action on an application by Mary and Savannah Cadzillo for a conditional use to allow a second dwelling on property located at 3411 South Bear Avenue in an A1 transitional agricultural district, and describe as a tract of land in the northeast 1/4 of Section 18, Township 13 North, Range 30 west of the 6th Prime Meridian, Lincoln County, Nebraska. Judy.
Okay, and you should have all received a copy of the review comments. Attached to that is a justification for the request. Also attached to that is a site plan and location map. As stated, the applicant is requesting to construct a metal building to store equipment with a portion of it to be dedicated as a second home. The proposed building and second home will not increase traffic in the area as it is intended to be occupied by a single person with one vehicle. The property is surrounded by larger acreages to the south and west and the golf course to the east. The proposed home should not be a detriment to the character of the area. Planning staff has no objections to the conditional use application. The property is currently used as agricultural property with a single-family dwelling consisting of approximately 10.049 acres. Adding the second dwelling as an accessory dwelling unit will not be a detriment to the surrounding area or neighboring property owners. I believe the owner is in the audience if you have any questions.
Right, the public hearing is open if anyone would like to testify on this.
Hi, I'm Savannah. I'm actually here for my mom. So I just wanted to thank you guys for taking a look at everything and really appreciate you going over. Hopefully I can answer any questions if you have questions. But
Can you give us your address?
yes, my current address is 2611 Lynn Court.
Last name?
Last name is Savannah Cadzillo. Mhm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else for item number 3? Right, would entertain a motion to close public hearing.
I move that we close the public hearing.
I'll second.
All right, motion in a second. Click or vote. All right, the public hearing is now closed. Any discussion amongst the table? Hearing none, would entertain a motion.
I move that we find the request for conditional use permit to allow a second dwelling on the property located at 3411 South Fair Avenue meets the minimum standards stated in the North Platte Code of Ordinances, section 156.322, and approve and grant the conditional use permit requested by the condition that all elements of the application are complied with. And with the following conditions, based on the following factual findings. The use shall conform to the applicable ordinances, laws, and regulations of the governmental jurisdiction. The use shall have adequate water, sewer, and drainage facilities. Ingress and egress shall be so designated as to minimize traffic congestion in the public streets. The use shall in all other respects conform to the applicable regulations of the district in which it is located. The use shall be in harmony with the character of the area and the most appropriate use of the land.
Motioned by Davies, second by Bain. Click or vote. And that item passes.
This will go on to the city council meeting scheduled for March 5th.
Alrighty, moving on. Items number 4 and 5 pertain to the same property with the same legal description as described on your agenda packet. Item number 4 is a public hearing on AM 24-001. Discuss and consider action on an amendment to the City of North Platte Comprehensive Plan 2011 Future Land Use Map, amending certain lands from agricultural, vacant, parks and recreation, and industrial to residential, medium density, single, duplex, and multi-family on property described above. Item number 5 is a public hearing. File number Z23-003 is to discuss and consider an application by KOW LLC to rezone certain land from an A1 Transitional Agricultural District, I1 Light Industrial District, and F1 Floodway District to PR3 Planned Residential District on the property described above. Judy?
Okay, and as the chairman stated, we are opening both items number 4 and 5 because they involve the same property and they may be discussed together. If item 4 on the agenda is not approved, then item 5 cannot be acted upon. Item 4, in order to rezone a property, it is the duty of the Planning Commission to ensure that the rezoning is in conformance with the current comprehensive plan. The request for the amendment has been submitted in conjunction with the rezoning. Applicants are requesting the amendment to allow a change in zoning for future development. With that, you should see a copy of the future land use map with the proposed amendment shown. Planning staff has no objection to the amendment. The parcel is currently a vacant site surrounded by multifamily residential and industrial uses. The property has been undeveloped for years, and amending this property to allow single and multifamily residential development is a good fit for the surrounding area. Item number 5. The applicants are requesting the zone change to allow development of a mixed-use housing development containing for sale and residential rental units, retail and industrial units. The overall development of the property will occur in phases over a period of 6 years and will provide for single-family detached structures, row houses, and apartments. Based on market demand, it is anticipated that the development will be 4 separate apartment buildings with 54 units per building, 61 townhomes, and 330 single-family detached homes. The developer is proposing a commercial area and industrial area with a park and hike bike trails throughout the development, which will be a positive impact on the general economic character of the area by developing quality, affordable housing for low-income community members. Planning staff has no objections to the rezoning if the amendment to the comprehensive plan has been approved. The surrounding area is predominantly multifamily residential and industrial development to the east. The master plan for development shows planned road improvements throughout the development with additional amenities such as bike hike trails and a neighborhood park. The development, if fully developed, will provide additional improved streets, including extension of East Francis and Leota, which will be an asset to the entire community. The development will focus on workforce housing, providing additional housing to the community. The development will create additional traffic. However, with additional road improvements, the impact should not be detrimental. Attached to that, you should have a map showing the proposed rezoning, justification provided by the applicant, and then also their planned development. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer, and also the applicant is in the audience.
All right. Once again, items number 4 and 5 are a public hearing together. So the public hearing is now open if anyone would like to testify on either of these items. All righty. Hearing none, would take a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Bain, second by Davies. Click or vote. And the public hearing is now closed. Any discussion amongst the table? Hearing none, would entertain a motion.
You need to do motions separately, one for item 4 and then one for item 5.
I move to approve file number AM 24001, an amendment to the City of North Platte Comprehensive Plan 2011 future land use map to amend certain land from agricultural vacant parks and recreation industrial to residential medium density single duplex and multifamily.
A second.
Okay, motion by Davies, second by Matthews. Click or vote.
This will go on to the city council agenda scheduled for March 5th.
Item number 4 passes. There any discussion on item number 5?
Number 5, it's a PR3 for the entire area.
Yeah, so with the PR3 planned unit development, again, what can happen, since it's a planned unit development, is they can vary up to 20% of the regulations that would be in R3. So if they have a portion, as long as it's not over 20% of the property, that they would like to do some commercial development or industrial, it will fit with a PR3 as long as they have that in their plan.
That was my question, was
Yep.
they were talking commercial, industrial, some retail and stuff, and then it was all the PR3, so.
Yep. As long as that fits within the plan that they have presented. Now, if something were to happen and half of the property was going to go industrial, they'd have to come back.
What if they want to cut out the park plan?
The park,
Yeah.
we probably won't let them. A park you can develop in any zoning area, but with a development of this size, it's going to be strongly recommended that there is a park or some,
Any major change to the plan, they have to come
yes,
back.
any major change to the plan would have to come back here. Yeah.
And again, this isn't light industrial, industrial.
It would be, so what it is right now is light industrial. We're
Okay.
changing it to a PR3, which would allow up to 20% to vary from that zoning district. Would we allow them to put a heavy industrial in there? I don't think that would be feasible.
Okay.
And if they had a heavy industrial development that they wanted to go in there, I think we would have them come back here to you guys.
That makes sense.
Opens it up.
Well, and I guess like in regards to the park, I love that we're looking at park and hike and bike trails. That's amazing. Is the city going to maintain that park moving forward and the hike and bike trails, or do we know sort of what that relationship might look like, or will they do that as redevelopers?
They would probably do the negotiation there. Generally, how that works is that hike and bike trail will be dedicated to the city, then the city would do that, but I can't tell you 100%
Okay.
sure what that agreement would look like. Am I?
Yeah, it's probably something to be determined later. I mean,
Yeah.
The city would likely very much appreciate if the developer kept all of that and maintained all of it.
Well, that's what, yeah, you know.
But I don't know. That's a future conversation.
Okay.
Would entertain a motion if there's no other discussion.
I move to approve file number Z 23-003 to rezone certain land from A1 Transitional Agricultural District, I1 Light Industrial District, and F1 Floodway District to the PR3 Planned Residential District.
Motion by Bain, second by Davies. Any further discussion? All right, click or vote. And item number 5 passes as well.
This will again go to the city council meeting scheduled for March 5th.
All right, moving on to item number 6. It is also a public hearing. Discuss and consider action on a resolution regarding Midwest Land Development, LLC, redevelopment plan on property described as the legal description, and it is listed on your agenda. Judy?
Okay, and you should have all received a copy of the review comments. Attached to that is a resolution. And then attached to that resolution as attachment A is the proposed redevelopment plan. The City Planning Commission's responsibility in the redevelopment process is to take public comment on whether the real estate described is in conformance with the City of North Platte Comprehensive Plan, and if the project meets or will meet subdivision and zoning regulations, and is an overall fit for development of the city. The following statements should be considered and confirmed. The property as presented is located in an area that has been declared blighted and substandard. The property is in conformance with the current comprehensive plan. The project meets or will meet subdivision and zoning regulations, and the development of this property to its full potential is in the best interest of the city of North Platte. The principal purpose of a comprehensive plan is to provide basic policies to guide the many activities of the city. It is used to help determine investment priorities and guide public and private development. At the same time, a comprehensive plan must be flexible in order to address changing conditions and respond to new situations that cannot be foreseen at the time of its adoption. One goal of the current city comprehensive plan is to create sufficient housing stock to provide safe choices and options for types of units and by cost. Sufficient housing stocks and options is obtained by redeveloping underutilized land with a mix of land uses that encourage new housing options, neighborhood services, and a variety of transportation options, sidewalks, paths, trails, and roads. Reducing the number of substandard housing units in the community, creating alternative housing options such as senior housing or low to moderate income housing, providing incentives such as density bonuses for redevelopment areas with substandard housing stock to affordable, safe housing, including housing programs that encourage construction of multifamily rental units, affirm and support fair housing practices in North Platte, and preparing for the future growth by extending city infrastructure to areas targeted for development. As presented in the redevelopment plan, the redevelopment project is a mixed-use development containing for sale and residential rental units, retail and industrial uses. The redevelopment intends to install infrastructure, open space, and a park, paving, water, sewer, stormwater mains for the development. The planned mix of buildings subject to market demand is 4 separate apartment buildings with 54 dwelling units per building, which is 216 units, 61 townhomes, and 330 single-family detached homes. The development will also contain a retail commercial parcel and industrial parcel along with a recreation area. Additionally, the development will provide pedestrian circulation system to facilitate the movement of pedestrians to and within major development area, which includes a system of walking trails and a public park area. Planning staff recommends approval of the Midwest Land Development LLC redevelopment plan and passage of the attached resolution. With approval of the land use amendment and the rezoning, the redevelopment plan is in conformance with the North Platte Comprehensive Plan 2011 and meets or will meet current City of North Platte subdivision and zoning regulations. The property is located in an area that has been declared extremely blighted and substandard. The area is appropriate for single-family and multifamily residential development with a mix of commercial and industrial areas. The mix of proposed dwelling units will provide the community with different housing options. With the proposed road improvements, the area will provide direct access to Interstate 80 and Highway 30 without disrupting other residential areas of the community. The proposed development is a good fit for the area and an overall growth and development of the City of North Platte. You do have a copy of the resolution with the attached redevelopment plan. And the applicants in the audience, if you have any questions, I can try and answer some too. We do have Mike Bacon there also.
All right. Number 6 is a public hearing. So the public hearing is now open for anyone that'd like to testify on this item.
Chairman?
Yep.
Mike Bacon, Special Counsel to the Community Redevelopment Authority. The authority seeks your input on whether or not this plan is appropriate to, 416 10th, Gothenburg. Whether or not this plan is appropriate for their recommendation on the City Council. They have a meeting Friday, and the proposed resolution takes into consideration the fact that you've just passed the recommendation to go to the changes to the zoning and to the comprehensive plan. A large project meant to support sustainable beef. It is a large undertaking. Mr. Hillis is here and can answer questions. I would point out this is an investment north of $180 million in the community with 800 direct jobs at sustainable beef, plus generating another 1,100 or 1,200 jobs in your community. You don't have that many places for people to stay. So this is targeted at workforce housing, which is sorely needed in the community. The redevelopment plan has been put together by Council for Midwest Land Development. It's been reviewed by members of the CRA. I reviewed it. It is in proper form, and it's a large undertaking. I would be glad to answer any specific items. It does provide for some non-planned construction, which is the extension of East Leota. So there's a time certain by 2030 they have to get East Leota all the way to Newberry access. So it's a large investment, a big undertaking. Be glad to talk to any specifics. They build the roads as the project progresses, and it's a good project.
What impact, or they studied, or there been any determination of maybe what that impact will have on this grade school?
That's one of the items for in the cost benefit analysis. Last information I had, there are 1,100 or so empty desks in the public school system.
I'm talking about Jefferson, which is in that area.
Not specifically. It's my understanding that the superintendent does support this. The other piece to understand is this will be built over a period of 6 years, so it's not a huge hit. Secondly, the population of employees do not all have children. And I'm doing this from memory. I think it's like 2/10 of a child per resident or residence or something like that in the community. So the impact is significantly less than, oh my gosh, we're gonna have 4 kids per that many houses. So, and a lot of the workers will be doubling up and renting apartments and so forth. So that's a good point. We'll need to address that prior to next Tuesday. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Question? Other than that, Mr. Hillis is here and can answer any questions about development, timing, and so forth.
Any other questions for Mr. Bacon? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Austin Hillis, 3051 Ash Street, Ashland, Nebraska. First off, thank you for everyone taking your time this evening to review this plan. If I can address the prior question regarding the school capacity, I do have a letter from Dr. Rhodes, who's the superintendent for NPPS. I'm happy to submit this as needed. So I had a conversation with Dr. Rhodes regarding the capacity and the magnitude of the project. So he's aware of the 607 new residential units being constructed. Based upon the multiplier for school-aged children, we're estimating 759 students. So Dr. Rhodes mentioned our schools are well-equipped and ready to accommodate these new students. So I can submit this letter in full, but just wanted to address that first. Between Mr. Bacon and Ms. Clark, they did a great job highlighting the project. I actually don't know much more I can probably mention right now, but as Mr. Bacon mentioned, I'm happy to address any specific questions regarding the development.
Are there any questions for Mr. Hills? All right, thank you.
Gary Pearson, President, North Platte Area Chamber Development Corporation, located at 502 South Dewey. Mr. Chairman, Planning Commissioners, just to reiterate, and I've done this at previous public hearings, so you know our strong support for this project. An amazing group of people that came together to make this happen. Many of them local investors, some really experienced developers, some agencies like Nebraska Investment Finance Authority, been a partner in the effort as well. And they really have fulfilled a tremendous need pending your approval and the city council's approval on the many challenges we have as a community moving forward. Those are wonderful challenges that we have. It's great to work on projects like this that fill needs instead of trying to search for answers on things to fill the gaps on people who, you know, jobs leaving or population leaving. So this really is a game changer for North Platte. I just would add to the school openings, because this was well vetted out during the sustainable beef process as well, in the economic impact analysis that was done on that. There are several openings at North Platte St. Patrick's as well. I believe it's 300 or 400 additional seats that could be filled there, in addition to the 1,100 plus at North Platte High. And isn't it a wonderful thing that we're talking about filling seats instead of closing schools? And there's been a lot of that discussion in the past as well. So exciting times for North Platte. This fills a tremendous need, and compliments to the people who stepped up. They didn't necessarily step up because they thought this was the greatest investment in the world. They stepped up because they knew the community needed them to. And that says a lot about their citizenship. It says a lot about their willingness to invest in this community's future. And we need to embrace this, and we appreciate your approval on it. Thank you.
Thanks. Anyone else for the public hearing?
Make a motion, we close the public hearing.
Second.
Okay, motion by Bain, second by Davies. Click or vote. And the public hearing is now closed. Any discussion amongst the table?
I have just one question. So the Leota Street, extension clear to, oh,
Brian?
no,
Newberry.
Newberry, there you go, thank you. Okay, so that will be at the cost of the developer?
As of right now, that is at the cost of the developer.
Okay.
It is slated for phase 5, I believe, which is the final phase.
Okay. But it will be extended as the development gets, it won't just like not be extended at all until the entire development is in. Because there's gonna have to be some egress,
They're gonna put roads in as it goes. If you look on page 12, it kind of shows you the phasing of it. Leota is going to be that last phase.
Okay.
Because phase 1 and phase 2 is kind of in the northern portion,
Got it.
which are already gonna have access to Philip, Francis.
Okay.
And we do have some design things that we have to go through. This is what they're looking at doing. Some of the design may change as we go through the subdivision process. We've got to make sure we get that traffic flow going out there right.
Yeah.
And just to clarify, if you look at page 5 of the redevelopment plan, under phase 3, it talks about building out East Leota. And I think, Judy, you said phase 5, but it's phase 4, I believe. It needs to be completed
I apologize.
prior to commencing construction on phase 4 or by this drop dead date of November 15th, 2030, whichever is earlier.
Thank you very much for clarifying. And then my only other question, I probably should have asked the developer, and if I missed it in here, what's gonna be the average price of a single family home after this is all done?
So I just had a conversation with them earlier today. They are wanting to try and get below the $275,000 range.
Okay.
They would like to target quite a bit lower than that, the 220, 250, but below the 275.
But there will be incentives for homeowners though too, right?
There is a possibility for some incentives for homeowners such as down payment assistance. And then, of course, with this being extreme blight,
Right.
they do have that possible tax incentive
Very
for
good.
a first-time home buyer.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion? All right, would entertain a motion.
I motion to approve the resolution recommending approval of the Midwest Land Development LLC redevelopment plan and approval of related actions.
Second.
Motion by Matthews, second by Kuhn. Click or vote.
Maybe.
Oh,
I'm just too quick.
Can't vote more than once.
and item number 6 does pass.
This actually will go to the Community Redevelopment Authority, which is scheduled for, I believe, 9 a.m. on Friday morning, which is March 1st. And then if it gets approval there, we'll go on to the city council meeting for March 5th.
All right. Item number 7 is old business. We have no old business. Item number 8 is new business. Any new business, Judy?
No new business.
All right. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming.